Good evening. This is Charles Rackless running for Vice President of CAPS. I'm an industrial hygienist at the California Department of Public Health. I'm running on the CAPS Fighting Union Caucus with Will Wright for President, Giorgio Cosentino for Treasurer, and myself, Charles Rackless, for Vice President. In the first two videotapes of this series, we talked about the problems of democracy inside of CAPS, the lack of democracy, the conflict of interest between Blanning and Baker and CAPS, and some of the structural problems that we've identified that lead to long-term denial of democratic rights for members of CAPS. Tonight we want to talk about an action plan, how to turn it around. If you elect our slate for the leadership of CAPS, what our plans are and how we expect to prepare CAPS for the next negotiation round with the state, and why we think that's most important. The single dip recession has turned into a double dip recession. Wall Street has no way out. The corporate leaders of the country have no way out. The president has no way out. Your 401k has probably just dropped about 10% in the last 2 weeks, and this is not about to turn around. There's a major economic crisis in the United States, and the denizens of Wall Street are trying to blame the public workers and public spending and social spending and the schools and the students and social resources for the nature of the crisis, and then they want to put it on us, and they're doing it by taking back our benefits, increasing the price of our pension, trying to lower our wages by furloughs, etc. And they've been pretty successful at this. Now we're going into the second dip of this recession. Many people are saying, well, this looks more like a depression than a recession, and they're going to continue to do the same. But if we look at the top 0.1% of the population, they're doing fine. They made out like bandits. They were getting all the benefit of the $7 trillion bailout that was a joint partisan, bipartisan bailout that came at the turn of the president from Bush to Obama during the campaign. And what did they do with all that capital? They put it into speculative spending and bonuses for their top bankers. They did not put it into productive resource development, production in the United States, manufacturing, etc. They didn't do this specifically because they're having a harder and harder time to make a dime on a dollar. So what we have to do is look at the fact that they're hoarding capital resources and start to build a movement that takes these capital resources out of the hands of the hoarders and puts it into massive public works projects, that takes the energy resources out of the hands of the profiteers and turns it into major public works projects that puts tens of thousands of people back to work. Instead of privatizing and charterizing schools, we need to be building schools, producing more teachers, and finding a way to make sure that kids are prepared for the jobs in the current economy and the future economy. Start to put people to work. That's what needs to happen. So how is that an issue for CAPS? How does CAPS make jobs happen? Obviously, we look and say, well, we can hardly even control our own organization. The point is, we're not isolated and alone. The point is that we are part of a larger labor movement. We are a social class that has social weight and the ability to change the economic and political climate of the country. But that takes an organized, mobilized labor movement with independence from the political parties that take their direction from the corporate leaders at Wall Street. That means that you need a politically independent labor movement, and that's part of what we would be fighting for inside of CAPS. Right now, in the last election cycle, we gave $500,000 to the Democrats and Republicans that now sit up there in Sacramento and tell us how they're going to have to cut us in the next go-round. They cut us on the way going in, and they're going to cut us on the way going out. The current CAPS leadership will continue to give your money to these same politicians that stabbed us in the back the last time. Our caucus will put an end to that. We see a different way to spend the money. We have a vision of organizing not just CAPS members, but linking up CAPS with the rest of the labor movement to organize a response to the control of the economy by these corporate hucksters who, in California alone, we have 84 billionaires. So we know that there is tons of money out there. The question is labor prepared to do the kind of fight and organize itself to respond to this depression or not? If you vote for the current leadership, you will get a incapable leadership which will not respond to it and will tell us the same crap that we heard from SEIU and the others before. We have to share the pain. Well, I see that we were sharing the pain, but the billionaires were not. Their cut of the pie has grown while our cut of the pie has decreased. So where is the fight back in the public media? All we hear is, oh, the public is against us and we have to bow down and take these cuts because the public is against us. Well, that's not necessarily true. The media says the public is against us, but who owns the media? The same 84 billionaires in California and their cohorts across the country own the media, run the polls, hire the journalists to write those stories that say that working people hate employed working people that have pensions and medical benefits. What we have to do is reach out and say all workers deserve pensions and medical benefits. All workers deserve jobs. Young people deserve jobs when they come out of university or high school. And we are champions of those needs. But right now, CAPS is not a champion of those needs. CAPS ignores the needs of the rest of the working class. CAPS is presented as a professional association, an elite association, and we are not at all connected to the rest of the labor movement. So what would a change look like? Well, first we take the money back from the politicians and then we start to organize the membership. We send out our staffers from site to organize site meetings, to start to find our leaders at each site, to have a strong steward movement, to put regular meetings happening at a regular basis so that we can have communications across the state and share our ideas and figure out how to get ourselves organized. And then we prepare regular meetings to prepare for the next negotiations. And we start to talk to our co-workers who are not in CAPS. We start to talk to the rank and file across the board. We start to build inter-union organizing committees so that we can take on the tasks at hand as a united force. We start to develop newsletters and communications. We participate in the broader labor movement. We send our representatives to the local labor councils, and we participate in the labor struggles that our brothers and sisters in labor are facing. Right now, there's a nurses' strike in the Bay Area, and we could have sent our messages of support to them, but CAPS has not sent any messages, and if they have, they haven't told the membership that they're doing this solidarity work. So solidarity trade unionism means that we reach out to the rest of the trade union movement. We reach out to the teachers, we reach out to the students, we reach out to the university students, and we say your struggle is ours because we know that the crisis was not created by the working people, was not created by the students, was not created by the teachers. And we point directly at who creates the crisis. And we create a wave of response to the lies that the public hates public workers because we have pensions and we have holidays and we have medical care. We champion the expansion of medical care to everyone. We champion the extension of pensions to everyone. And that way we build support in the community because people know that they deserve good jobs at good pay with pensions and benefits. But the existing leadership of CAPS has been presenting us as an elite group that does not need to participate in the broader labor movement. We have to break that history. We have to break the demoralization of the membership. We have to break the atomization of the membership. And we have to start creating regular meetings where we actually organize. And that's what we would have our staff doing. And we will talk more about our action program in an upcoming video. Good night, and remember to vote for Will Wright for president, Charles Rackless for vice president, and Giorgio Cosentino for treasurer if you're prepared to roll up your sleeves and transform CAPS into a fighting union. Otherwise, please go ahead and vote for our opposition, and you will lose in the next round of negotiations. They will be giving back. Thank you and good night.